Hi there, I'm Teacher Jackie, an English subject teacher. In this video, you're going to learn the modal verbs. And what are these modal verbs? Modal and modal phrases are semi-modals. A modal is a type of auxiliary or helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. Modal phrases or semi-modals are used to express the same as modals, but are a combination of auxiliary verbs and the preposition to. The modals and semi-modals in English are can, could, be able to, may, might, must, have to, will, and would. Now let's tackle first the modals can, could, and be able to. These can be used in the present, future, and in the past. These modals expresses ability or lack of ability. Can, could, and be able to are used to express a variety of ideas in English. The combination in using can and be able to in the present and in the future is this: can or can't plus base form of the verb. Example: Tom can write poetry very well. I can help you with that next week. Lisa can't speak French. So those are the examples. Am, is, are, will be, plus able to, plus base form of the verb. Or on the other hand, if it is going to use in a lack of ability, you're going to have this combination: I'm not, isn't, or aren't, or won't be, plus able to, plus base form of the verb. Example: Mike is able to solve complicated math equations. The support team will be able to help you in about 10 minutes. I won't be able to visit you next summer. Now let's use these modals in the past. The modal could, if you're going to construct it in a sentence, you're going to form this combination: could or couldn't plus base form of the verb. Example: When I was a child, I could climb trees. Was or were plus able to plus base form of the verb. Or if it is in lack of ability, you're going to use wasn't or weren't plus able to plus base form of the verb. Or hasn't or haven't plus being able to plus base form of the verb. Example: I wasn't able to visit her in the hospital. He hasn't been able to get in touch with the client yet. Note: can and could do not take an infinitive to and do not take the future auxiliary will. So let's have these corrections. This one is incorrect. I can to help you this afternoon. That is incorrect. The correct one is I can help you this afternoon, or I will be able to help you this afternoon. We are also going to use the modals that expresses the possibility or impossibility. And these are the can or can't. And the combination, if we're going to construct it in a sentence, is this: can or can't plus base form of the verb. Example: you can't catch that train at 10:43. He can't see you right now. He's in surgery. And if you use the could, the modal could, here is the combination: could plus base form of the verb. Example: I could fly via Amsterdam if I leave the day before. We can also use the modal can that expresses or asking permission, or giving permission. The combination, if you're going to construct it in a sentence, is can plus subject plus base form of the verb. That is informal. Example: can you lend me $10? You can also use the can plus base form of the verb. You can borrow my car. Another is the modal could. Could plus subject plus base form of the verb in a polite manner. Example: could I have your number? Could I talk to your supervisor, please? Make a suggestion, or to make a suggestion use. If you're going to use this modal in making suggestion or giving suggestions, then you could use this one: could plus base form of the verb. Example: you could take the tour of the castle tomorrow. So those are the modals: can, could, and be able to. Now let's come to the modals may and might. They express formal permission and formal prohibition. May or may not plus base form of the verb. Example: you may start your exam now. You may not wear sandals to work. And these modals are also used in a polite request. May plus subject plus base form of the verb. Example: may I help you? And we can also use this one for the possibility or negative possibility. For example, the may and might plus base form of the verb, like this one. We may go out for dinner tonight. Do you want to join us? Our company might get the order if the client agrees to the price. May not or might not plus base form of the verb. Example, Adam and Suri may not buy that house. It's very expensive. They might not buy a house at all. To make a suggestion when there is no better alternative, may as well or might as well plus base form of the verb can be used. Example, you may as well come inside. Jam will be done here soon. We might as well take Friday off. There's no work to be done anyway. We can also use this one in giving a polite suggestion. Might plus base form of the verb is going to be the combination. Example, you might like to try the salmon fillet. It's our special today. Now let's talk about the modals shall, should, and ought to. This is to offer of assistance or polite suggestion when you're quite sure of a positive answer. Shall plus subject plus base form of the verb is the combination. Example, shall we go for a walk? Note that shall is only used when I or we, and it is used instead of will only in formal English. To offer of assistance or polite suggestion when you are not sure of a positive answer, here is the combination. Should plus subject plus base form of the verb. Example, should I call a doctor? A prediction or expectation that something will happen. This is the combination you're going to construct. Should or shouldn't plus base form of the verb. Example, the proposal should be finished on time. I should be late. The train usually arrives on time. And if you're going to use this one to give advice, here is the combination. Should or ought to plus base form of the verb. Example, you should check that document before you send it out. You ought to have your car serviced before the winter. And if you're going to give advice about something you think wrong or unacceptable, you should go to use this one. Shouldn't plus base form of verb. Example, James shouldn't teach him words like those. Now let's come to must, have to, need to, don't have to, and need not. These modals expresses necessity or requirement. In the present and future, you must have this combination. Must or have to or need to plus base form of the verb. Example, you must have a passport to cross the border. Elizabeth has to apply for her visa by March 10th. I need to drop by his room to pick up a book. if you're going to use this in a past form, you need to have this combination: had to or needed to, plus base form of verb. Example: I had to work late last night. I needed to drink a few cups of coffee in order to stay awake. Note, have to and need to are often used in the same context, but many times need to is used to express something that is less urgent, something in which you have a choice. It also expresses almost 100% the certainty, 100% that you are certain. So you can have this combination: must plus base form of the verb. Example: Thomas has lived in Paris for years. His French must be very good. To persuade, you can have this combination: must or have to plus base form of the verb. Example: you must try this wine. It's excellent. You have to visit us while you're in town. And if it is prohibited or forbidden, if it expresses prohibition, you can have this combination: must not or mustn't plus base form of the verb. Example: you must not drive over the speed limit. You mustn't leave medicines where children can get to them. And if it expresses lack of necessity, you can have this combination: don't or doesn't, didn't plus have to plus base form of the verb. Example: you don't have to park the car. The hotel valet will do it for you. Tim doesn't have to go to school today. It's a holiday. You didn't have to shout. Everyone could hear you. Need not. If you're going to use the modal phrase need not, you can have this combination: need not plus base form of the verb. Example: you need not worry about me. I'll be fine. And the last one, let's talk about modals will or would. So the combination, if you're going to use this one to construct a sentence, is will or won't plus base form of the verb. Example: John will pick you up at 7 a.m. Beth won't be happy with the results of the exam. In a polite request or statement, you can have this: will or would plus base form of the verb. Example: will you please take the trash out? Would you mind if I sat here? I would like to sign up for your workshop. And if it is in a habitual past action, you can use this one: would or wouldn't plus base form of verb. Example: when I was a child, I would spend hours playing with my train set. Another example is: Peter wouldn't eat broccoli when he was a kid. He loves it now. And there you have it. I hope you can have lots of fun, lots of learnings in this video tutorial. If you want more lessons, please subscribe and tap the notification bell for more uploads and to be notified if there are new topics. See you! Bye-bye!